So we have half an hour. We have half an hour for our Diwali feast. So I will ask questions, you all can answer. And I will also help to answer them further. Okay? You make some announcement?
Hare Krishna. So please raise your hands if you have a question. You can say your name and then you can ask a question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. My name is Sumit and I am from ISKCON Juhu. So, Prabhuji, Vrindavan, they must be having some preconceived notions about Vrindavan. But when they came to Vrindavan, and they must be surprised or, some disappointed like thing after seeing Vrindavan. So, how Prabhupada used to show them Vrindavan? How Prabhupada used to perceive Vrindavan? To make them understand Vrindavan potency.
Very nice question. All of you understood the question? So, I was reading yesterday or day before yesterday. I think I told in the class also that Srila Prabhupada's disciples, when they were coming to India, for the first time, they knew Vrindavan only what is written in the Krishna book. That was the only Vrindavan they knew. That it's a Chintamani Dham. All the trees are wish-fulfilling trees. And everything is green. And there are cows with very heavy loaded milk bags. They are running there. Everywhere it's a paddy field. And the river is overflowing. So that's what they all had heard about Vrindavan. And when they came to Vrindavan, it was, of course, when 70s, early 70s, definitely Vrindavan was like a village. But the Vrindavan town was not exactly like that, The first thing they saw is a lot of hogs around, So, it was a very different experience. But because they were not smart children, they could understand the energies. All of us who are here, we don't need to experience, we don't need to be taught. I don't have to tell you that, Vrindavan is very special. Just by being here, you can feel it. Isn't it true? So what do you imagine when you come with Srila Prabhupada, how the Vrindavan will be like? So Vrindavan in one sense is also what kind of consciousness we carry, the kind of association we have. Maybe we are not so qualified to see Vrindavan with the naked eyes, but we can experience Vrindavan through the consciousness of the association, the teachings, and by practicing devotional path. With that, based on our individual levels, we all experience Vrindavan. All of you sitting here, based on your own, level and commitment and faith and sincerity, every individual will experience Vrindavan. Isn't it true? Every single person will experience Vrindavan in his own capacity. So the Dham, that's why it is said, the Dham reveals itself. So what to speak about when you come with Srila Prabhupada? We actually, in Krishna consciousness, do you know about 10 offenses? Do you know about the 10 offenses against the holy name? 10 offenses? You heard about it? You heard about it. So, always there is a detail to a principle. Like we are told initially when I was being preached to join the temple or to take up Krishna consciousness more seriously, when I was being preached to take up Krishna consciousness more seriously, so my seniors used to tell that, if you chant, just chant very sincerely, you go back home back to Godhead. So I was focusing very seriously chanting. Then after 3 years, actually, 2-3 years, I came across 10 Nam Aparadh, 10 offenses against the holy name. When I read them, I realized that, it's far away. It's far away, far away in the sense that following the 10 offenses, being careful while chanting the holy name. So it's a detail. The principle is if you just chant holy name, you'll go back home back to Godhead. But even knowing the principle, you actually progress. Correct or not? Similarly, coming to Vrindavan, Dham, coming with association of devotees, automatically you progress and you start seeing Vrindavan as a spiritual abode. So that's how it has to be. It has to be seen through consciousness. So Srila Prabhupada's disciples, they were very committed to Srila Prabhupada. They had so much faith in Srila Prabhupada's words that they could see Vrindavan through the consciousness, that how they are feeling progressive in their own individual Krishna consciousness. Okay? Hare Krishna. Give him the mic. Pass the mic.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. My name is Bikash and I am from ISKCON Juhu.
Can you repeat?
My name is Bikash and I am from ISKCON Juhu. My question is, while chanting the Hare Ram Hare Krishna mantra, what should we think, in our mind? Because our mind get wandered every now and then. It's a monkey mind. What should we think in our mind so that we can focus more on the mantra? The other thing is, while chanting, we go deep into thinking about Krishna's pastimes or what.
Deep about?
Krishna's pastimes and Krishna's. But the other moment I have to focus back into my beat to change the beat, So what should we do in this case?
Other way,
So I one time I'm chanting and the second time I have to shift focus to my fingers to move the beat. So the concentration levels get dropped there. How can we, work out with this?
Very nice question. So it's a very important thing. Srila Prabhupada, he mentions that chanting doesn't mean only pronouncing the names of Krishna. The complete meaning of chanting is chanting and hearing. You have to hear the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Chanting means you hear it also. You hear it also. So you have to put a lot of concentration to hear it. So that's called complete. And when you hear it, then you will not, anything else will come. Then you will only hear. So it's very important that while japa, we are focusing our mind to even hear. Because when the name will go into the ears, from there it will purify the heart. Then you don't have to think about Krishna's pastime. They will be visible to you. It will automatically be visible to you in due course of time. So chanting means hearing. And then of course, it is a practice. By practice it comes up, But we should, there are many books on chanting. One of very nice, two things which I learned and also helped me a lot. One was always chant one mantra. Always chant one mantra. Because many times we are chanting, we want to complete one round. We want to complete one round. So what we do? We start chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. We are more into completing that round. And then that's when the mind tricks us and goes away. It goes everywhere, Especially in the japa time, only good ideas come. All plans and good ideas, they will come in the japa time only. So mind is very tricky. So what you should do is you should make sure you chant one mantra. And as soon as you complete that one mantra attentively, your target should be to immediately start the second mantra without a delay. And then complete that one mantra. Then the third one. And that's how you should complete one round. Every mantra should be a mission. And the second mission should be, as soon as one mantra is over, the second mantra should immediately start without a gap. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Second thing which I learned was, whenever you say Hare Krishna, raise your voice, Hare Krishna. And Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Sometimes what happens in mind, no? As you are completing one mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. The mind is just trying to jump. And you say, Hare Krishna, the mind will immediately come back. The mind will immediately come back. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So you have to make your mind here. It's an independent mind. You understand? So like that, there are many books on japa. Many nice tips are there. This is what helped me. There are many other things. But chanting one mantra attentively and raising your voice when you speak the first word of the Hare Krishna and Hare Rama, little. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram. If you see Prabhupada does that, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram. You see? If you heard Prabhupada's japa. So that automatically, chanting is purification of the heart, but initial stage, taming the mind also. It is a mind which is running around, away from Krishna and all the worldly things. So you have to tame the mind to hear the holy name first. Automatically it will come. Attentively chant.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Very well.
Prabhuji, in previous lecture, I'm Kunal. I'm associated with ISKCON Bhivandi. In previous session, Prabhuji mentioned two words, personalist philosophy and impersonalist philosophy. So my understanding about that is the concept of God, personal form of God, comes under the personalist philosophy, and impersonalist philosophy is about formless form of God. So could you little bit elaborate why personalist philosophy is better than impersonalist philosophy? Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's philosophy is Achinta Beda Abeda. So which I read was oneness in the Atman, Brahman and Prakriti. At the same time, it is also different. So it is little bit confusing. So could you please elaborate?
No, you mix three different things. One is Prabhuji's point on personal. You mean to say when Shrutakirti Prabhu was telling that we are personal, that point you're telling?
Yeah, like.
But that was in different context. That was in non-context.
So they used to always give resolution in the terms of personalist philosophy by taking the stand, by taking the premise of the personalist philosophy, right?
Yeah, I got your point, but when you're connecting it to what Prabhuji said is different. When he was talking about personal, yeah. So you say that, now I got your point.
So basically, that is what I want to understand. Why the personalist philosophy is better than impersonalist philosophy?
Prabhupada mentions it, of course. So, I used to, in the early days, I used to give one, example that it's not so good here, I think. The impersonal approach to the Supreme Lord is not wrong, but is not the highest. It is not the highest. A bona fide impersonal process. One actually approaches the Lord without devotion. He approaches through knowledge, and even in knowledge, he doesn't get influence. There is also chances of the person who's completely layman about philosophy of God consciousness. So he may come across, Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan or Mayavad or some speculation, spiritual paths also. So if you take from a bona fide path point of view, it depends a lot upon the sadhaka's sincerity and whom he has come in contact with. That's how one is derived, So let's take an example. If someone comes in contact with an impersonal approach, so what happens is he's definitely influenced, but because the spiritual search is to know about truth, because he's already anyone who comes on the spiritual path is very clear that there is something beyond what is going on in this world. That is for sure clear. Now when he comes in touch with, suppose, let's take an example of an impersonal, path, the Brahman path, they call it. So they hear that you will go and absolute truth, you will merge, like that. But Prabhupada mentions that in the impersonal path there is no activity. There is only knowledge. This is only all knowledge, and you go to you do tapasya, sadhana, some kind of sadhana, and you approach impersonally, the Supreme Impersonal. But ultimately Prabhupada explains that one who is sincere, he takes up Krishna consciousness. And one who is not sincere, he achieves some level of success and reaches the Brahman. But then there is no activity. There is no activity. It is a sky which is between the material world and the spiritual world. There is a space. You understand? In that space you are there with no activities. So after that, even there, if he is not satisfied, he again comes down. And after coming down, the consequences is more dangerous, because he becomes a pious man who believes in some kind of philanthropy. And that piety makes him feel that, he's such a good pious man, and he keeps on, doing pious activities, which is not the perfection of the soul. So that is one danger, an impersonal approach. But there are chances in this approach, because it's a bona fide process, one may come across a yogi who is meditating on the Paramatma within the heart, or a bhakta, or a devotee, who is performing devotional service. So by coming in association of these things, he actually will develop the higher taste, rasa, the higher rasa. And in this way he will actually approach. And also, there are, even the two bona fide religions, Islam and the Christianity. It is not impersonal, but it mentions about someone as Supreme God. Isn't it true? So the other way look at it, the impersonal approach is also that those who are less intelligent, those who are not qualified yet to understand. And for example, Prabhupada gives this example, 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 2 is 3. If you ask a small child, he will say 2 plus 2 is 4. 3 plus 3 is 6. But if you ask the same child who is a very initial level of mathematics, you ask him, what is 1 minus 5? So what the child will say? He will say impossible. How can 1 can minus 5? But we know it is minus 4. We know it is there. So in a similar way, in an impersonal, there are based on various situations, Vijay Karma, there are people who are not intelligent to approach the personal form of the Lord, associate with the personal paraphernalia of the Lord, to have the intelligence, like Prabhupada mentioned, actually I heard in Tamal Krishna Maharaj's lecture, that when Quran was spoken in a certain situation, it was mentioned that one should not physically associate with his mother and sister. Because in that part of the world where this was spoken, people were doing that kind of mistakes. So they were to be uplifted. So there was a philosophy about the Supreme Lord given to them to the level where they could understand that there is one Supreme Lord and that's it. He is high in the heaven and that's it. If they come to that level also, actually they will be guided to Krishna consciousness only, Prabhupada mentioned, in the later stage. That's the easiest way to explain. I am not expert at Advaita, Dvaita. Sunyavad is actually not a bona fide philosophy, it's atheism. It's actually there's nothing void, they say, void, the Buddhists. Whereas Buddha did not speak only. Buddha did not say Shunyavad. He just kept silence. And Prabhupada writes, Buddha discarded the Vedic literatures and then he kept quiet. Why? Because Lord was coming as Shankaracharya and giving the Mayavad to separate the, what we call the, Buddha did that, but then Shankaracharya, he came and spoke the Mayavad philosophy to separate the, what we call not exactly impure, but not atheists. Those who, everyone was looking like Vaishnavas. Within that, there were people who were very, pride and greedy and possessive. They were having some motive to be a Vaishnava. They were attractive. You are Supreme Lord. You will merge. So they were separated. Then Lord Chaitanya came. So Shunyavad is not a bona fide philosophy. Dvaita, Advaita, these are all, I'm not so expert on that. I can ask you to, I can guide you to some other devotee for that. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. My name is Yash and I am from Bhiwandi. My name is Yash and I am from Bhiwandi. So Prabhuji, my question is that few minutes ago, Prabhuji was telling that you are in Kartik and you are in Vrindavan, so you should be in that consciousness. And our seniors are continuously telling us that you are in Vrindavan, be conscious about that thing, take it seriously. But what is the case in my side? After a few time, I take it as a granted. Kya 10 din hai na? I am not that serious. So how to slowly and gradually come to that stage? Because every yatra I go,
it's very important to be serious, is to set target to achieve in Krishna consciousness. You have to set target to achieve in Krishna consciousness. You have to set a target to achieve in Krishna consciousness. If you set that, then you will be busy to achieve that. And to achieve that, you have to practice and progress. That's how we can keep ourselves busy. Otherwise our mind, see, Kali Yuga means only negative. It's only negative. See, all of you are here also. In association of devotees, we are always very positive. Within association also, if 1-2 hours also you are busy with your phone, you will become negative. It is so sensitive. You can experience that here, but when you go out, it becomes a normal life. That's why it's called padam, padam, vipadam. On every step there is a danger. Every step there is a danger. That's why you should always hold the hands of devotees, their legs. Always remain in association. Devotee will never tell you that. I don't think so any devotee sitting here together will say, "Arey bahut ho gaya, chalo Delhi jaake kuch picture dekhte yaar." Nobody will say. No devotee will tell each other like this. Devotee association will never allow you to do this. So it's very important to be in association. First thing. And second thing is, you should always have a vision to serve. Service is very important. Service. And if you don't have anything, there are some things already given by Srila Prabhupada. Distribute the books and preach Krishna consciousness. Do Harinam. Always one should try to be busy with these things. Or endeavoring to organize these things. Understand? If you do this, I guarantee you, you will never feel low. You will never feel you see, the point is that you should have that anxiety. You should have that anxiety to give back. all of us who have got Krishna consciousness, can you pay back to the Guru, Vaishnavas and Krishna in this lifetime? Can you? Can anyone pay back for being granted Krishna consciousness? Can you? Never. Our life is not sufficient. Our lifetimes is not sufficient. But at least we can express our gratitude. Can we do that? Can we? And the best way to express our gratitude is fulfill the desire of Srila Prabhupada. Is to go out and reach out to the suffering people and give them Krishna consciousness. That is one way we can actually give back to Srila Prabhupada, the Guru, Vaishnavas and Krishna. So if that anxiety if we take, our life will be perfect. Anxiety, when you are having exam, sometimes, sometimes people, material world is such a place that even if you are prepared for the exam, on the day of exam, you get loose motion. Stomach becomes, you seen that? Many times it happens, Sab ho gaya, pet. How many of you experience this? Stomach goes down, sab ho gaya, sab taiyar hai. This is the place of suffering, and the enjoyment is temporary. All of you sitting here has passed 10th standard? All of you? Have passed 10th standard or not? कोई fortunate है जिसने 10th नहीं pass किया? All of you sitting here passed 12th standard? ठीक है. So were you happy when you passed 10th standard? Were you happy or not? Can you enjoy that happiness now? Can you be happy? मैं 10th में pass हो गया था, अरे क्या बताऊँ? Can you do that? मैं 10th में pass हो गया था, क्या बताऊँ? मैं बता नहीं सकता हूँ. So enjoyment in this material world is like this, temporary. And there is a hankering that if you achieve that, you will enjoy that. And suffering, you can experience it until it is very harsh. Otherwise, in illusion you suffer. Getting up late in the morning is not a very big suffering. But eventually you come to know you become worse than a hog actually. Eventually you come to know. Your life has become worse than a dog because you don't even get up in the morning. Eventually the suffering is like that, it eventually. So, this is how the material world is. There's no much options here. These are the only options. Temporary happiness, suffering, when it is very harsh, or suffering in illusion. But if we take up anxiety to serve the mission of our acharyas, then actually we are always thinking, we are in anxiety. That anxiety keeps us busy. And what is required is mind to keep busy. If we keep our mind busy in the lotus feet of Krishna, in his services, that's it. That's the perfection of human life. Okay? Mataji. No, the Mataji. Is it on? भाव में went.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. My name is Bhagyashri. I am from ISKCON, associated with ISKCON Juhu. My question is, in the morning session, you said about mantra, association, with people like mantra. So, with us also that, we ourselves are also like mantra sometimes, maybe like mantra or Ravana. So how to kill that kind of qualities within us? I'm talking about the qualities which are there in us, which we can improve.
Very nice question. See, it is a very great boon itself by the mercy of, the acharyas, the scriptures. We come to know about ourselves, The most important thing is at least now we have come to know what we are. Now, mantra, just because she was a woman doesn't mean all women are mantra. It is a mentality which can be in a man and a woman also. And because the, like Devi Shakti Mataji mentioned, the Vedic culture is totally destroyed, it is lost now because of the Mughals invasion and the British invasion. They have actually destroyed the culture. So being selfish, being greedy, being envious, being very, speaking lies, for one's own benefit. These were all actually the qualities in a very lower grade human beings, Shudras. This was amongst them. But now because the Vedic culture is not there, it has become, because of the influence of Kali Yuga, it is the standard of life now. It is a standard of living. Until things are good with you, you are good. When things are not good with you, you do anything what you feel is good, what you feel is right. Until you are educated that this is right, this is wrong, this is duty, this is sin. Until you are educated to this, it is very difficult to know about it. But we suffer with it, isn't it true? We suffer. But when we become devotees, we actually come across all these things, and moreover we can see in ourselves. That is why one of the very important way I learned to read Srila Prabhupada books was, which helped me a lot, was when you read Srila Prabhupada books, try to search something for yourself always. Whenever you're coming across some very nice pastime, whenever you're coming across some very nice teachings, you should see where I stand and how do I apply this, and what is there which I am not supposed to do to apply this, and what is that which I am supposed to do to apply this. This exercise on individual basis helps a lot to come out of all these things and become a sincere Vaishnava. Because the more we become sincere, we become the instrument in the hands of Guru and Parampara. We become the instrument. They can use us to spread the mission then. They can use us, by this. So it is very important that we know this, and then by association, by reading, by practicing. Most importantly for the young devotees, very important to read. Very, very important to read. If you read, the more you read, actually, the more your mind is very sharp. Even now I remember 20 years ago what I read still helps me to preach. The pastime which I told about Shrutakirti, I heard it 21 years ago. 21 years ago I heard it, from him. But I still remember. I read in his book, in his actually BTG article, one of the BTG article, 2-3 pastimes. And then I heard from him also. So it is very helpful at the young age to read more. And as I told to one more answer, that when we take up challenges to progress, we set a target that I want to become like this, I want to develop these qualities, I want to become this way, under the guidance and supervision of a superior. Actually, you become so busy in achieving that you don't even come to know that all these qualities are gone. All these qualities are gone. So it's very important to have this anxiety and sincerity to progress. It is not that, there is a quality and you will take an arrow, gaya. It doesn't work like that. It works by association, taking prasadam, doing services and sadhana. Okay?
Prabhuji, which are the authentic temples to visit in Vrindavan? Is it only our temple?
You didn't go for local darshan? One day we went, no? It is always good to go with your mentor wherever it takes. No need to think what is important, just go with your mentor. whole Vrindavan is important. And not leaving Vrindavan is also important. Staying in Vrindavan is also important. But at our level, it is always good that we follow our superiors because they are aligned with their superiors and they are aligned with their superiors. The moment you think that I can go here also, or someone tells why we cannot go here, at initial stage of Krishna consciousness, these are very dangerous. And once one is 5-10 years, nobody tells them. One is mature enough to go. Because even in Vrindavan or even any holy place, there are different, of course this is not so relevant, but it's always good to follow our superiors. But in principle, our Goswami temples are there. Our 6 Goswami temples are there. And then there is Banke Bihari, there is Seva Kunj, the pastime places of Lord Krishna. They all are, that way everything is important. It will be an offense to tell something is not important and something is important. Isn't it true? Everything is important. But for us, it is always good to go with our superiors. Because we will be able to see the holy Dham with them. By their mercy, by the association of devotees. That's how we will be able to see. So the process is more important than the detail.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, my question is similar to her question, that this is in Kartik, if we chant 16 rounds, it multiplies to 1000, right? And so if we create any offense or sin, so even the effect of it also multiplies. So we are here in Dham, in Kartik. So consciously, unconsciously, intentionally, unintentionally, if your mind gets deviated or if you tend to create any sin, knowingly, unknowingly, so how to deal with that, how to fight with that guilt, and how, like, what to do if in case you think you have created any offense? And what are the consequences of
surrender?
creating sin?
Krishna tells in the Bhagavad Gita, Sarva dharman paityajaya mam ekam sharanam braja aham tam sarva papebhyo mokshasya. The most easiest thing is to surrender to the Guru. If you surrender to Guru, he will free you from all these things. So, you should be busy searching the process of surrender, following the process of surrender. Mind is very tricky. Some devotees go psycho thinking that they did offense. Rather than we should always try to do services. And Lord Nityananda is very merciful. He's very, very merciful. Devotees are very merciful. There is this story, in Chaitanya Bhagavad it comes. Bhav mein Prabhu, you know whom Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rejected? No. Chota Hari is so different. Huh? And then he was with Vakreshwar Pandit. Huh? Who's that? Devanand Pandit. It was Devanand Pandit? Yeah, Devanand Pandit. Okay. So Devanand Pandit, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what did he do? He offended. Yes. So he offended. He offended a devotee. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he got so upset that he rejected him. When Devanand Pandit was rejected, there is no hopes. If the Lord or a devotee, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is actually a devotee. He took it as an offense, he offended a devotee. So Devanand Pandit actually was rejected. So he had no hopes. Now Vakreshwar Pandit Prabhu, he was a very great Vaishnava. And he was famous for dancing. And he is such a dancer that he could dance 72 hours. 72 hours. And he would get angry and pounce on the singer if they would stop singing and playing and dancing, if he's dancing. So, in any kirtan procession, in any festival, as soon as Vakreshwar Pandit would come and dance, the kirtani would start shivering, The that now he will not allow us to stop only how long we can play, how long we can sing. So nobody was ready to sing with him. So Devanand Pandit was already rejected by Mahaprabhu. So Devanand Pandit was accepted by Vakreshwar Pandit. He said, आज join करो, रुकने का नहीं. कीर्तन चालू रहेगा, मैं नाचते रहेगा, तुम बजाते रहने का. So then this was going on. One day Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw Devananda Pandit singing and Vakreshwar Pandit dancing. When Mahaprabhu saw that, he smiled and left. So Prabhupada writes there that even sometimes by an knowingly and unknowing offense, you may be rejected, But if you take shelter of a devotee, if you take shelter of a Vaishnava, catch hold of his feet, the Lord is bound to accept you. He has no other option than accepting you. So the best thing is always be at the lotus feet of devotees. And one more thing Srila Prabhupada mentioned, that pray to Lord Nityananda Prabhu. He is magnanimously merciful. He helps us to overcome all our offenses. And thirdly, if you genuinely know that you have done some gross offense knowingly to some devotee, actually you should go and ask forgiveness to that devotee. Unknowing offenses, don't worry about it. It will just disturb your mind for no reason. You just keep doing your service. One Mataji had one question in the back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pranam Prabhuji. I am Purna. I have this question about emotions, positive emotions in our life. If we are having positive emotions, what is the importance of...
Radhakant Prabhu.
What is the importance of positive emotions that we carry in our life? What is the use of it? How to divert it? What are the main importance of this positive emotions that we females...
I want some clarification. There are two kinds of positive emotions, material and spiritual. So material achievement also can give us positive emotions, So what are you talking about? Sometimes you buy a car, you will have such positive emotions, after 1 year it will go away. After sitting sufficient in the car. And then at the same time you come to Vrindavan, also is positive. Which emotions are you talking about?
So, if as a female, if I have an emotion to forgive, to love my children, or to expect or to do good for someone, but I am not able to do it, if I am not able to do certain things the way I wish to, I do want to forgive someone, but the same mistakes keep happening from someone, and I still feel I should forgive, but if I go through the same bad behavior from someone which hurts me continuously, so, and I feel bad if I can't forgive, if I don't, I should not forgive, and I should not take that same behavior from someone. So I have to make myself strong and be practical at times. So with the emotions that I go through, with the turmoil of emotions that are positive, but I have to control them and be practical in those times, then I feel that what is the importance of this positive emotions within me as a female, that I have to keep control over it and remain practical at times. So I keep questioning myself that then why I have been given these emotions from Lord.
So, very nice question. It is very important to know and discriminate about our duties and the emotions which we carry, the application of it. It is all very important, whatever you told. But the only way you can help yourself is when you take shelter of a devotee, how to execute it. Guru is always required. When you have Guru, you will have connection to the Parampara and Supreme Lord Krishna. In that connection, you will always do the right thing and apply your emotions in the right way. Because now you are connected spiritually. Materially, it's all a confusion. Sometimes you feel this, sometimes you feel like that. And sometimes it's about your karma also. So we can never understand what it is. It appears to be something. It appears to be duty. It appears to be, I am so good. It appears to be, all are so bad to me. But it is all mind's game on the material platform. Everyone is suffering in this material world, with this only. because we have not taken the shelter of the Lord and His devotees and His teachings. So you have to be in association of devotees, take their guidance. At the same time, you should read. Reading is very important. It applies to me also. Reading Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, hearing to the lectures of Srila Prabhupada, it sharpens our intelligence and also develops our consciousness. With the combination of these two and association of devotees, you actually learn to apply. You learn to apply. Yes, you tell. Loud. Office and? What you should do? Which side of you should be shown in your office and home as a beginner in Krishna consciousness? I don't think so you should show anything to them as a beginner in Krishna consciousness. You just be a good gentleman. That's it. Be a good person. Don't speak nonsense. Don't speak. See, in this world, abusive language is a very common terminology to exist. Isn't it true? गाली देते हुए बात करना तो जीना है. Isn't it true? In the material world, college life, all this. गाली देते हुए बात करना तो जीना है. So you should rise about all these things. That's, and you know, then they will understand why you become like this. Two, three more questions, huh?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I am Manish from Choice Surat. In Shrutkirti Prabhu's lecture, he mentions about Prabhupada's one of the quality, like he gives a spiritual solution of any material problem. I want you to justify this, and is it applied to every material problem? Is it
You
applicable?
tell me, I will give you a spiritual solution. Any material problem. Based on Prabhupada's teaching. I have heard from them only, Prabhupada disciples. In the material world, there is no solution, there is only suffering. There is no solution. In the material world, you take birth. Have you seen a child being born?
Yes.
Have you heard about it? Does it comes with a pain or happy? Does it come with a flag? Oh, I've come. Like that, any child has come? Have you seen any child coming?
No.
He cries and suffers, right? And then, old age. Anyone wants to get old? Everyone is forced to get old. Isn't it true? Anyone wants to have disease? अरे बहुत दिन हुआ मेरे को मलेरिया नहीं हुआ. Have you, sir? But everyone will get disease. And who wants death? I remember I many times tell, I was in the initial days when I was preaching, so there were old people. I was speaking about death. One old guy got freaked out, क्या बार-बार मरने के बारे में बात करते हो? Because nobody wants to hear the truth. Isn't it a suffering? So there's only suffering in the material world.
Like I feel many times like by regulating many things we can like live happy life. Like if we accept like we have to die one day, right? Or anyhow any instant like the day can be any day, right? By accepting this truth we can and regulating many things like
Yeah, but
regulating
there is
fear
a
and
process to accept the truth, no?
Yes,
For example, we know if we chant the holy name while before leaving this body, we'll go where?
Golo.
Spiritual world. Suppose what's your name?
Manish.
Huh?
Manish.
Oh. Do you know Bharatnatyam? So I make an announcement today at 4:30, Manish will do Bharatnatyam. Is it possible? No. Not possible. It requires practice. Isn't it true? So what you're telling requires practice, and that practice is Krishna consciousness.
Okay.
You got it?
Yes, sir.
That practice is Krishna consciousness. You cannot falsely practice, I'll be good. I'm a good person. I'll be good. I want to be good. No. Nobody is good here for you to be good. Krishna consciousness teaches you what is good, and you get a higher reason to why you should become good. Correct?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
This Mataji had one question. Ask him. Let her. All the time.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam. Nupur from ISKCON, Juhu. Prabhuji, I have a question. Ideally, what should be our behavior and dealings with our devotee friends?
So what was it?
What should be our ideal behavior with our devotee friends and dealings?
Actually, we should be very careful actually about devotee friends also. We end up developing that material bonding, you know. Non-devotee friends का जो यारी है, यारी बोलते हैं क्या बोलते हैं? ये मेरा यार है. We should be very careful. We develop that in Krishna consciousness also. No, our friendship in Krishna consciousness should be only to serve together. And in that services, whatever exchanges is there, actually is the friendship. If it's not service, then it will end up slowly lead to gossip. Note my words. All friendship, even in Krishna consciousness, leads to gossip only. If it's not having a common terminology, a common relationship based on service. Service means how we can progress, how we can get up for Mangalarti, how we can help each other to do the services nicely, you know. It's very, very important. So our relationship should be based on anything beyond that. You should consult your superiors. Someone may say, oh, no. It happens, you know, they will say, Arey, you know, in this temple they say like this. Arey, but in this temple, this Prabhuji is not telling like this. Khatam. That one thing can destroy your spiritual life. It's always try to know things beyond services from superiors. Otherwise, you will be shopping. Shopping what? Where my mind will fit in, you know, so I can continue the way I am. Many devotees get stuck like this. And life, actually sometimes such decisions can destroy our spiritual journey. So you should be very careful about association within Krishna consciousness also. You should always associate with devotees who are actually taking anxiety to serve the mission of Guru, the mission of Srila Prabhupada. Those who are in anxiety always worry talking about that only. That should be our association. Last question. Okay, after that you can take.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I wanted some tips from you to have a balance in student life and spiritual life. I have heard from one Prabhuji, he used to say that whatever your study hours is, so you have to separate it from your spiritual hours, means practicing spiritual devotional activities. So whenever you are doing any work-related activities or studying-related activities, you should not mix in between as it affects your work efficiency. And while performing devotional activities, you are not supposed to do mix any work-related activities as it affects its efficiency.
What work you do? You are a student, no?
Yeah, I'm student. So
what work you do?
like studying and preparing for exams, etc.
So that is studies only, no?
Yeah, studies.
What are you studying?
So I wanted some tips as in.
No, what are you studying? I understood your question. What are you studying? What are you studying?
I'm in 12th boards.
12th exam?
Yeah, sir.
Oh. So you chant your rounds and complete your 12th and complete your education. Come to me. At the moment you nicely do that. Focus. Do whatever you can do. Whatever you can practice in your free hours. First thing is to develop the habit of rising up early and sleeping early. These two things you do. If you sleep early, if you sleep before 9:30, if you go to bed at 9 and before 10 you sleep, you will get up early and chant your rounds. And rest of the day you can manage. If you avoid this, I will tell you anything, you cannot do anything. You cannot follow it only. The material education is designed in such a way, it has to bring an ass out of you. So whatever I will say will not happen until unless you get up and chant in the morning. So for you, only get up and chant early. For everyone actually, even for me. First get up and chant your rounds in the morning. Everything else will fall in place. I guarantee you. And if you avoid this, you do anything, any tips I will give you, it will not help you. Sleep early, rise early. Understood? I have so many tips, but I don't want to waste them.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Jyoti here from ISKCON Juhu. At times it becomes very difficult for making any decision. So it is like if someone is hurt by that decision, heart or mind is not on same page, but that affects the chanting next day. So how to deal with this situation?
I answered it already. In my spiritual life, I progressed. I can only share my realization in this. Then we have seniors, Narottam Prabhu, Radhakant Prabhu, they can also add. My realization was, I always was very busy observing my seniors, how they are very committed to serve Srila Prabhupada and do their services very disciplined way, very selflessly. And I always took all my decisions. Wherever I would get confused, I would consult. One time, one of my Shiksha Gurus, Shamru Prabhu, whenever I would go to him with a problem, he would solve it like this. And I was always thinking, my God, I go with so much pressure to him, and he listens to me, and he just tells few words, and I'm done. I'm completely stress-free. So I asked him one day, I said, Prabhuji, how is it that you are so fresh, so confident, and so, the kind of command you have when you instruct me a solution? How is it that? He said that, he told me a very nice answer, which I still now follow. He said that whenever I have any problem, I pass it to my superiors. I don't keep my problems with me. I pass it to my superiors, and according to their guidance, I deal with this. Then what I am left with is to share with you what I got from them. Understood? To
Yes,
share
Prabhuji.
with you what I got from them. So it's always good to have superiors, seniors, whom you open your heart, talk to them. It's very important that your seniors should know about you, your situation. Then they will be able to guide you. And under their guidance, when you take decisions, you will feel very sheltered. There is no solution in this material world. But this shelter makes us peaceful and happy.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
We are done, but we'll have another session of question answer. No, Prabhu? Otherwise, we'll get late with everything. So we'll stop here, and we'll have one more session of question answer. There are many devotees here also. Srila Prabhupada ki. So set up for the prasadam now. Our prasadam is ready. Haribol.